Hey guys and girls, welcome once again to KWtv episode 4. My name is Knightwise and today it's Tinker time. Tinker time. I have a screwdriver. We have Niana's MacBook, or Ibook should I say, and we have one keyboard. The thing that's going on is the Ibook Niana owns has been in service for almost 3 years now, and we love it. It's a very nice machine, but unfortunately the keyboard doesn't seem to work anymore. Now I've tried all kinds of things. I tried to make sure that the keyboard connector was on securely. I just rebooted the Ibook, took a Mac OS CD just to make sure if I booted off another operating system that it still would or would not work, so it wasn't a software issue. And as we can see, it's a hardware issue, so it's busted. Now, the shop will tell you that this baby, repairing this baby, will actually cost quite a bit. Well, we're gonna see if it's really that hard. So what I've done is I've ordered one of these. These cost about 48 euros. Which is a new keyboard for an Ibook. I got it pretty fast off the SNS store in Hasselt. And what we're going to look at is if it's easy or not to replace one of these. Now, since I've got it open anyway, I thought, why not take a little stick of RAM, and which I recovered from an old laptop, and see if we can put it in there. So I'm going to try to debunk two major myths today. One, that screwing open an Ibook is very hard to do, and replacing a keyboard is very hard to do, which they tell you at the store, because then they can do it for you and you can actually pay them a lot of money. And we're going to see if Macs really need Apple RAM, because I mean, memory is just memory, and they say, well, you have to have Apple memory inside an Apple. Well, what I have here is a stick of 2700 DDR SODIMM RAM. It's 512 meg, and I'm going to see if I can fit this into here. Normally it should work. I asked the store clerk what kind of memory was inside of here. It was DDR, and this has a cache level of 2.5, so that's the only thing that can kind of be screwy, that can actually screw the whole thing up. But we're going to see what we're going to do. So today, the screwdriver, the keyboard, the stick of RAM, the Ibook, and tool time. The first thing that we're going to do is we're going to open up the keyboard here, which is not really that hard. If you can see very well, there are two little latches, one here and one here, that you can actually slide down simultaneously. It's kind of hard to show you facing the camera, but if you slide them down both simultaneously and pull, you'll just pull the keyboard away very gently, and here it is. So that is where the keyboard comes loose. It's attached with this little flat cable here, which is connected underneath this plate. This plate has 4 screws, and the airport card sits on top of there. So that gives your Ibook the ability to connect wirelessly to your network. So yanking this baby off would not be such a good idea, because the connector goes under here, as you can see. So what we're going to do is we're going to take these 4 screws out, and we're going to see what we're going to have to do or not do with all of this Airport Express card. So I'm going to put the notebook on its side and gently going to turn open the screws. Now what I always do is I line up the screws right in front of me, so I always know which screw goes where, and every level has a different place. So if I, for example, screw open or release these 4 screws, I will put them down here. If I were to go deeper inside the machine and find more screws, I would put them here, and so on and so on, so that you always have separate rows of screws indicating the depth that you are working in, and otherwise you screw up your screws. Let's just see. There you go. Just release that, fold it backward, and gently pull out the Airport Extreme card. Now I'm going to leave the little antenna wire here that you can see. I'm going to leave that one attached, and this just comes off just like that. Now, what do we see? I'll see if I can zoom in for you guys. Let's see. There we go. Ain't that cool? There you go. Now, what do we got here? We have the plate that covers everything up. We have the Airport Extreme wireless card, and we have the memory. Now, what I do next is something that I should have done in the beginning, and that is releasing the battery. Because if you are going inside your machine, make sure the power is always out, but also make sure the battery is always out. Especially if you're working with memory. Now, I'm gently going to push. You see there are two little wedges here and here that will, let's see, there you go. That will enable you to, that actually hold this little bar in place. So the trick is to push here and here at the same time. And it comes off. Now let's see if we can read this. We'll probably be screwed up by the resolution. It is PC 2700, 265 megabytes of DDR RAM, cache level 2.5. Lucky Me has 512 megabytes DDR, 2700, yes? Yep, 2.5 cache level. There you go. It's the same thing, it's the same. It's not Apple memory, but as you can see, this isn't either. This is just plain Samsung memory. What they do is they buy this, they charge you a heap of money more because it's Apple memory, bracket, and so you can actually just buy DDR RAM in the store, but just make sure that both the cache level and the memory frequency are the same. Now you could have some trouble because some brands don't work together very well. It's not really a good idea to kind of mix memories, but we're going to build this in and we're going to see what happens. So we click this in like so, gently push it up open, and we snap that shut. Now here is the connector for the keyboard. Gonna gently pull as well. Just see. There you go. It comes off like that. And I'm gonna take the new keyboard and attach it. And we do that like so. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to screw it shut and we are going to start it up together. Now, the moment of truth. I've reconnected the keyboard, I've reconnected all the wires inside, and as you can see, I'm reattaching the battery. Using the old RAM, this kind of a screwdriver to shut the battery. And we're going to see together what happens. Press the button. That sounds good. We're going to see if it starts up. Doesn't look very good. Nothing seems to be happening. Although, no, I'm mistaken. Here it is, the Apple logo. Now we're going to see if the keyboard works. It's booting up. Now, the only thing that I'm nervous about is that the memory that I put in might not be something that plays buddy-buddy with the memory that's already installed. But, having said that, let's just see. We can log in. And there she goes. All logged in. And now we're going to do one final test Apple key. Still starting up. About this Mac. And we're going to see if our little memory upgrade trick worked. And there you have it. 768 megabytes of RAM instead of 512. There you have it, my friends. Installing a new keyboard and some extra memory on a MacBook. It's easy as pie. See you next week on KWtv episode 5.